Hey, welcome again to another edition of Inside Earlham College Golf right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Big weekend coming up. It is conference time. In fact, over the next 2 weekends, we're going to talk about that coming up with head coach Matt Gehring in a couple of moments. We'll kind of look back to last week and talk a little bit about what happened with the men's team and the women's team. They finished their season as well as they're done now for the spring season. Yeah. Good to have you with us, sir.
Yeah,
how you
thanks,
doing?
Troy. Good. It's an exciting week. It's an exciting time. I haven't been this excited about a conference tournament in a while.
Good.
The guys are playing some really good golf. And it provided for an exciting weekend last weekend for us. And we've got some serious momentum going into this weekend. So good. I think everybody across the board is looking forward, and there's some confidence there. There's a little bit, bigger pep in their step at practice, and it's been nice to see.
Yeah, this is what you play for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is, for us, there's always the importance of playing well in normal invites during the season, and those matter for national rankings, individual rankings, stuff like that. But for us to make it to nationals, this is what you play for.
Yeah,
you've got to win conference, and this is what we worked for the entire year. When they stepped foot on campus day one in the fall, that's what we talked about. Yeah. We talked about preparing every single day at practice for these 2 weekends, and right now leading up to it, there's they haven't played this consistent and this good of golf probably since the fall. So it's a good time to get hot, and it's a good time to have the swings going in a direction that I think we can surprise some people this weekend.
Did you get kind of that feeling after last weekend? And to me, at least, I always feel that whether it's golf or baseball or whatever, if you're playing well right at the end of the year, getting into the tournament, that's the key, right?
It seems to be that we're peaking at the right time, which is good. A lot of the times it's a fine line with how you do practice, what we do in practice. You want to make sure that we're playing the best golf that we can right now.
Good.
And I felt like after this weekend, I knew it was a course, it was Defiance College. It's where I played for 4 years. It's where I coached for 3 years. So I know that course like the back of my hand. So I knew it was a course that with the games that our players could bring to the table, I knew it was a course that we could take advantage of. Right. The first day we shot the school record. We shot 300. Not the troubling part, but kind of the funny part of it is Brevin Smith, who shot 75, doubled the last hole of the day. Garrett Schuler, who shot 78, bogeyed the last hole of the day. Graham Sherrard, who shot 72, left a birdie putt a half a revolution short on the last hole. We had a multitude of opportunities to shoot 299, which if you can, have a score where two's in the front of your number at the college level, that's something to really feel accomplished about. But I'm very pleased with the way we played that day. They were gritty. They gutted it out. It was a great round to see. Sunday was a little bit more of a difficult round for us, and I think everybody across the board. We went from being tied for fourth to tied for sixth after a 3-11 finish on Sunday, but it was tougher conditions. The wind had kind of kicked up in a way that made some of the holes play completely different.
Yeah.
And they adjusted well to that. They really didn't start off great. I think they would agree with that, even though the scores were relatively similar. We shot 311, which is 11 shots higher. When you look at it that way, it's a big gap. But if you take it over 4 people, it's only 3 or 4 shots. So I was pleased with the weekend. They got a good idea of where they're at with everybody else in the conference. And I think seeing how close we were to teams that we weren't necessarily that close to at the beginning of the year is a good shot to the chest.
Yeah, really good indication.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I talked to you all year about weather.
Yep.
But it looks like this week, this is finally going to kick in where you're going to have a good week where the conditions should be pretty good for you guys.
Yeah, last weekend's conditions were fantastic. We haven't been inside. We were inside on Monday last week just because of rain, and it was a day after a tournament, so a little bit lighter of a day at practice. But we had a really good day at practice yesterday. We didn't start practice until about 4 in the afternoon, but there was guys that went out there and got 18 holes in before practice. We had a great 2-hour short game practice yesterday. We're going to have another great short game practice today. At this stage in the game, the swings are there. They're going out. They're playing holes. They're getting their swings right. That's there. Now it's really about the short game. That's the deciding factor with these next 2 weekends is who can perform when you've got a 5-foot putt on the line, on the last hole for you to shoot a career round, or for the team, for the team to shoot a career low round. That's when the short game really comes into play. So we've been really trying to hit hard with that today and tomorrow. And we're really looking forward to the weekend.
All right, tell you what we'll do. We'll come back. We'll take a look at what's coming up the next 2 weekends in just a couple of moments. The pressure's on now, which we'll see who thrives and who doesn't. We'll do that coming up in just a moment right here on Inside Earlham College Golf on Radio Troy Digital Sports.
I got this.
I got this.
I got this.
At Harrington Hogue, we believe your life belongs to you. That's why we work hard to make sure that your insurance coverage is the last thing you have to worry about. So when it comes to keeping you protected,
We got this.
Hey, we do want to mention the women, of course, their season finishing up this past weekend. Before we even talk about this weekend's tournament for the men, let's go ahead and close out the women. Give me kind of an idea of how you thought they went throughout this spring season, and then, of course, before you know it, you'll be thinking about next year.
Yeah, just like the men's season, we battled weather. We had a rain out earlier on down at Mount St. Joe, so instead of playing 3 events this spring, we only got the chance to play 2, and it kind of bookended. It was the first week of the season we played down at Heritage Hills. Last weekend of the season was at Franklin. So it was nice for them to be able to have those 2 competitive rounds, but it really allowed us to kind of get our hands dirty and really work on the swings, which was nice to see, because even though we did play in 2 tournaments, there was a vast improvement for how we played the first weekend, or the first tournament versus this last weekend. This last weekend, we played at Franklin's Invitational. Tough course there at the Legends. The Legends is a tough course. We struggled the first day. Hannah was the only one in the 90s. Everybody else was in the hundreds the first day. But it's a course that if you've never seen it before, it'll jump up and get you real quick. Yeah. So, but they fought back the second day. Hannah shot 89. Megan shot 91. Emma shot 94. Natalia shot 118, which all 4 of them were lower the second day than the first.
Good.
So if you can have that in every single tournament, that's great. That shows their determination, that shows their heart, and that shows their desire to want to improve. So it was a good high note to end on for the spring.
Good. So look ahead. What do you see?
So, and we'll kind of get into this with the recruiting class, but we have 4 freshmen coming in next year's team. We're pretty much returning all 5 from this year's squad. Good. So we're really excited for a multitude of reasons. The girls are going to have yet another year to season over the summer, but this incoming freshman class provides us with some depth that we can get a little bit more competitive in practice.
Good.
The guys have had that this year with being able to qualify and have qualifiers and have a little bit more intense practices to see who plays on the weekends. We're going to be able to do that with the women next year. And I think that's just going to elevate everybody another level to perform in practice so that they're traveling on the weekend. So they're excited about it. I'm excited about it. I know what the freshmen bring to the table. I know that our girls are going to work hard in the off season. And next fall should be a really exciting season for us.
All right, looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
As well. All right, don't go away. When we come back, we'll talk about this weekend. Big tournament time, as we mentioned moments ago, for the men. It's coming up next right here on Inside Earlham College Golf on Radio Troy Digital Sports. Welcome back to Inside Earlham College Golf with the head coach, Matt GEHRING. It is tournament time this weekend and next weekend. And, okay, here we go. Before we talk about these 2 next weekends, of course, we'll talk more about this weekend and then preview next week and everything. But do you have an indication from knowing your players and knowing their game at this point? Tournament time is also pressure time. The game of golf can be very much mental, as you know. Do you feel your team has that going into this weekend?
They've showed it throughout times during the season that they have what it takes to perform at this level.
Okay.
The best part about it is we've got a group of sophomores that have had to act like seniors basically the entire year.
Right.
You know, they had the experience of being freshmen and all freshman team playing at this level last year, so they know what it takes. They know the expectations. They know what's on the line. So being able to provide that guidance and that leadership for our freshmen that'll be playing this weekend is key. You know, we've got a couple sophomores that are qualifying for our alternate spot, and they're really they understand that they didn't play that well to be considered in the top 5, but they also know that this is for the greater good. So they've been able to kind of take the freshmen under their wing these last couple days and into even last week and kind of prepare them for what it's going to be like moving forward this weekend and next weekend. And that's what you want to see. You know, we're not a senior-laden team. We're not even a junior-laden team. Yeah. We're a team full of sophomores and freshmen. We're still young.
Yeah.
But these guys have had to grow up quick. I feel like they've done that. You know, throughout the season, we always talked about we have to do what's best for the team. And if that means waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get into the studio, that's what you have to do. If that means, you know, instead of going back to your room to take a nap, if that means going into the studio for an hour, that's what you have to do to be successful at this level. And yeah, I think that there were some growing pains there for a lot of them. You know, this is still only their second year, but I think that they've grasped, you know, in my experience dealing with freshmen and sophomores, they've seemed to have grasped it a little bit quicker than other freshmen and sophomores that I've dealt with. So I'm very proud of that and very happy that they've kind of bought into that mindset this quick. So, I mean, I feel really confident about that they're going to know what they need to do this weekend and they're going to go in and take care of business.
All right, talk about what you expect course-wise and give us a little bit of the layout format, what will happen.
Right. This is a little bit different weekend for me as a coach. Franklin always hosts a fall tournament at the fort these last 2 years. I'm with the women in the fall.
Okay.
I've never seen this course before. I've never played it. It wasn't Franklin's home course when I was in college. So I don't know as a coach really what to expect. I hear it from the players. I can go online and watch their videos on the course's website and kind of get an overview. But until you're there, until you're on site, until you're feeling the grass, until you're seeing what each hole has, you don't know what really the course can bring to the table. So for me, this is going to be one of those weekends where I'm out there for moral support. I'm going to help them read the greens when I can. But it's not one of those where I can really go out and help them strategize. They know more information about this course at this point than I do. A lot of them have, most of them played it last fall. A lot of them played it last fall and even the fall before that. So they're prepared.
Good.
You know, that this is a situation where they're prepared. They know what the course is. They've been taught. You know, I hear rumblings even after last weekend's tournament about, you know, they were amped up and talking about conference and talking about what this course brings to the table. And so they're ready to go. They're focused. They know what it's going to take to shoot well this weekend.
Sounds like to me you guys are ready. I mean, you
I think so.
Prepared about as well as you can, right?
I think so. It's a different feeling this year than last year.
Yeah.
You know, last year we were the new kids on the block. We were just trying to go out there and not finish last for a first year. These guys want to go out and win.
Yeah.
You know, and we know that Mount St. Joe and Transy are the perennial favorites, and they're the favorites going into this year. But that doesn't scare us.
Yeah.
You know, in golf it's different. You know, you're not playing against somebody.
Yeah.
You're playing against the course.
That's
you
right.
know, we have to go out there, and they understand that we have to go out there, play the course, and beat the course. If somebody else goes out there and has a career day or has a lower round than us, if we can go out there and say that we were committed on every shot and that we thought that we played the best round of golf that we could that day, that's all you can ask for. If somebody else goes out there and shoots better, they were better on that given day. So, but I think that they can play the course better than a lot of the schools in our conference. So we're excited for that.
I know fans are also looking forward to how they can, if they can't be there, and you usually give us an update on how they can watch or at least follow along.
Yeah, this is actually a really good opportunity. For the conference, we're actually doing live scoring this weekend. The conference championship this weekend and next weekend we'll have live scoring.
Good.
So I won't necessarily have to provide updates. I'll provide a link, and GoEarlham.com will also have a link as well for them to go to GolfStat, and it's hole-by-hole updates. Our players are going to be keeping score the first day for our groups, and it kind of rotates groups or rotates schools every day. So it'll be hole-by-hole updates. So they'll get to see live, up-to-date how everybody's playing. Good. So that's really exciting especially with our team and how kind of spread out we are. It allows for their families to kind of keep up with how we're doing this weekend, and for fans back here that can't make the trip, that they get to see how we're doing this weekend. So it's a really good feature that our conference has added.
Good.
This year.
Looks like a lot of fun.
We're excited. We really are.
Coach, you seem excited. Hey,
Thanks.
good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Troy. Appreciate it.
Of course, we'll check in with Matt next week. And again, follow along, GoEarlham.com, and make sure you keep up with the Quakers this weekend. And then next week, we'll take a look back and look ahead at the second round coming up next week. Thanks for being with us. This has been Inside Earlham College Golf right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.